Welcome back, my dear friends. Today in this video what I'm going to do is a very short and a very special video for all of you. That is a quick revision on dot product and cross product. So usually we tend to forget without proper revision, so I'll just give you a short revision on how to go for the dot product and how to find the cross product of two vectors. So let me just get straight to the point. That is, how do we find out the dot product or scalar product of two vectors? So for example, let's take an example. That is, let's start with the scalar product. Scalar product of two vectors. So for the scalar product of two vectors, do remember, I'm just going, since this is just a revision video, I'm going straight to the point. That is, the scalar product of two like vectors, that is I dot I, j dot j, k dot k, this will be how much? This will be 1. Whereas for I dot j, j dot k, k dot I, and so on, it will be what? 0. Now for example, suppose we have two vectors, that is vector A as 3i minus 2j plus k, and another vector as I minus 2j minus 3k. So if you have to go for the dot product of these two vectors, so what shall we do? Very simple, write it down. I minus 2j minus 3k. Now when you go for the dot product, I'll go straight to it. That is, just ignore the other products like I dot j, I dot k, because we know that this will be all 0, no? J dot I, j dot k, k dot I, k dot j. Just ignore these products, just go for I, j, j, k, k. That is, just go for the product of the coefficients of I and the like vectors, that is 3i, 1i. So that's going to be 3 into 1. Alright, and I dot I, that will be 1. So done. Always write plus sign. Minus 2, these coefficients, negative values and all these values, the other values, you can keep it in bracket just to avoid mistakes. K, that's going to be 1k into minus 3k. So that will be 3. Minus minus plus 2 to 4, minus 3 cancels, so the value will be 4. So that's how you will find the product. Okay, product of two vectors. Clear? Now if you have to find out the angle between these two vectors using dot product, so what was the formula? So if theta is the angle between the two vectors, then cos theta is given by a dot b divided by magnitude of a into magnitude of b. So that will be this dot product. Since we have already calculated, I'm just going to write it here, 4. And how do we calculate the magnitude of a vector? Root over of sum of the squares of its coefficients. So that's going to be 3 square plus minus 2 square plus 1 square into root over of 1 square plus minus 2 square plus minus 3 square. So that will be 4 cos theta equal to 4 by, this will be 3 square 9 plus 4 plus 1 10 14. This will be 3 4 10 14. So that will be 4 by 14, or in other words, theta equal to cos inverse of 4 by 14 or 2 by 7. So here the answer is not our main concern. All right, and the special condition was if the vector A is perpendicular to vector B, then in that case cos theta, that will be actually cos 90 degree. If they are perpendicular, then in that case what happens is cos 90 is how much? 0. So if we apply that here in this formula, what will happen? 0 is equal to a dot b by magnitude of a into magnitude of b. So that would mean that if the two vectors are mutually perpendicular to each other, then the dot product of those two vectors will be what? 0. Okay, if they are mutually perpendicular to each other. All right, clear? Okay, so this was how we go for the dot product of two vectors. Okay, so dot product is not very complicated at all. Now, what about cross product? Now, when you go for the cross product, again, let's take, now in cross product, the orthonormal triad, if you remember, please do watch the videos if you want to learn completely. Do remember that for, okay, let me just write down cross or vector product of two vectors. So in that case, I cross I, j cross j, k cross k, these values are 0, and I cross j will be equal to k. So this orthonormal triad, if you remember, clockwise, anti-clockwise, that's up to you. I, j, k. This video also I've given you. So I cross j will be k. Similarly, j cross k. If you go for the product, the result will be a mutually vector mutually perpendicular to both of these vectors, j, k. That will be I. And if we complete, k cross I would be j vector. All right, and similarly, if you reverse, like if you go for j cross I, that will be minus k. All right, whereas for dot product, a dot b is same as b dot a, but for cross product, no direction changes since the result is a vector, so the value will be in negative. All right, okay. Now let's assume two vectors, that is vector a 3i plus j minus 4k, and vector b 6i plus 5j minus 2k. So what we will do is we will find out a cross b, and we will also find out the magnitude of a cross b. So remember, we call this as vector product or cross product because the result is also a vector. For scalar product, the result is a scalar. That's why we name it accordingly. So a cross b will be, if you remember determinant, what we will do is write down I, j, k. Just follow this, okay? No need to follow too many formulas and all. Just follow one so that there is no confusion. When you follow too many different styles, there is always a confusion. After that, write down the coefficients for the respective vectors since it is from a to b. A cross b, 3, 1, minus 4. 3, 1, minus 4. Next, 6, 5, minus 2. 6, 5, minus 2. So what you will do now is, just like we have done it in determinants, first row, first column. So okay, let me write in detail since it's a revision. So ignore the first row and the first column, then cross multiply. So okay, let me just write determinant of 1 minus 4 5 minus 2 I minus, for j now, ignore this row, this column and this row, so it will be determinant of 3 minus 4 6 minus 2 j cap plus, now this time ignore k row and this column, 3 1 6 5 3 1 6 5 k cap. All right, now this negative value, why we write is we are not changing the direction. Okay, we're not changing the way we cross multiply. In some textbooks you will find plus, so direction changes, cross multiplication changes. So let's not talk about it. Okay, just follow this. This is enough. Okay, just follow this. Ultimately my negative sign will come, answer will be same only. Okay, so let's keep it with same as determinants only, so that there is not many ways to we solve a particular problem. So now go for the cross product. Determinant value minus 2 minus 4 5s are 20 minus minus plus 20. I think that's okay. Multiplication and addition now. Minus 2 minus of, let me write it down, sometimes it gets confusing for students. Minus 2 minus minus 20 I cap minus 3 2s are minus 6 minus of 6 4s are 24 j plus, this one is okay, 3 5s are 15 minus 6. So the value will be minus 2 plus 20 I cap minus minus 6 plus 24 j cap plus 16 minus 5 9 k. So that will be 18I cap minus 18J plus 9K cap. 18 minus 18 plus 9. So this is how we go for the cross product of two vectors. Clear? Then if you have to find out its magnitude, it will be done in the same way, that is root over of 18 square plus minus 18 square plus 9 square. Okay, so this value will be root over of 324 plus 324 plus 81. So that will be root over of 721. So forget about the values. Okay, if you want to calculate, then I think it's 27 into 27, maybe 27 into 27. Yeah, this value, if you want the value, 27. All right, so this is how we calculate the cross product and the dot product. Now this concept is very useful, especially when you go for three-dimensional geometry. Okay, so just before three-dimensional geometry, have a quick recap, a revision on how we go for the cross product and dot product. It will be really helpful for you. All right, I hope I have this video proves to be helpful for you. Okay, so till then, take care. Bye bye.